For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Newspin calling, 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 calling. Newspin calling, 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 calling. Newspin calling, 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 calling. Across the land, all across the world, echoes of voices, we join hand in hand. How many rise in the afternoon sun? Come along, Newspin has begun. Newspin is the best, better than all talk show, most monitored talk show in the world. Truth from St. Lucia to sandy shores, from cities and hills to the Caribbean breeze. We sing together, hearts at ease, education to open every mind. Learn about your country, leave no one behind. Newspin is on your radio. Come along, hands in hands, voices in unity, singing loud. Newspin, who's the best, better than all talk show, most monitored talk show in the world. St. Lucian's heart to the world's every land. Knowledge unites us hand in hand. Yeah, Tim on Newspin call, bridging gaps between us all. Voices lift on high, under one sky we unify. Tim on Newspin call, bridging gaps between us all. Voices lift on high, under one sky we unify. Newspin is on education for all, from city streets to mountains tall. Learn your history, share your dreams. Together we light the world with our flame. Newspin is the best, better than all talk show, most monitored talk show in the world. Better than all talk show, most monitored talk show in the world. Newspin is the best, better than all talk show, most monitored talk show in the world. Yeah, Newspin is the best, better than all talk show, most monitored talk show in the world.
You know, we really can't handle the truth. We'll take you back to the year 2018 when a particular statement was made, much to the annoyance of certain individuals from a particular camp. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show, and that is Newspin, which is on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the Newspin Facebook page as well as the Newspin YouTube channel. Please like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the Newspin channel grow. In just a bit, you'll be hearing from Jante. That's the chat room reporter. She'll be providing you with some updates, and I'll be hearing from you via your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. We hope you're having yourself a fantastic and safe Friday. Talking about safety. Talking about the fear of crime in this St. Lucian society. And automatically, some people would be in denial. Because for them, you ought not to discuss the reality on the ground in this country. Or you must turn your attention to a particular area, such as what is deemed to be positives. Things like handouts from the government. And let me tell you something. When you hear people say things like, the Prime Minister in his wisdom has seen the need to provide you with some kind of reprieve, some kind of relief at the pump, and you're paying less for LPG or cooking gas, and the Prime Minister has seen the need to subsidize it. You are the one. As you're the one subsidizing the price of the LPG, the cooking gas. It's not the Prime Minister who is doing that. Can you imagine Philip J. Pierre going into his account at one of the financial institutions, or maybe an offshore account, and withdrawing a certain amount of money every month to subsidize the price of cooking gas? A hell of a benevolent individual, munificent, generous individual to do that. No, you are doing that for yourself. He is merely facilitating it. He has the power as the Minister of Finance, the man who is managing the affairs of the state, to do that. So he's not doing you a favor. Okay, he's not doing you a favor. So people like to focus on those things because it suits them, it suits their narrative, it suits their political party, gives the impression that the SLP is more generous than any political party in St. Lucia, when previous administrations, whether it's of SLP or UWP, they have been subsidizing the cooking gas, rice, flour, sugar. This has been done for decades now. So people want you to focus on that. But we have to focus on other things that are taking a monumental task on you, taking a deleterious effect on you. When your son, your nephew, your cousin is being killed on a daily basis, it affects you directly, and indirectly it affects other people in the St. Lucian society, and we ought to focus on this. Our lives is not that of some stray animal. Can't equate the life of a human being, a young male, with that of a dog, or some chicken, or some hen, or some rooster, or a frog. And it appears that's how we want to see the life of human beings in St. Lucia. Because if you want Newspin to ignore the fact that nearly every other day we are having a homicide, to the extent now we are at homicide number 26, then our lives are not important. It's of little significance. So we report. We don't have a name, we don't have the circumstances surrounding that incident, but you're watching the photograph of a yet another young male. The victim, we are told, of another shooting incident, which occurred in the wee hours of Friday, today, in the southern part of St. Lucia. That's what we are told. That's where the body was discovered. We can't tell you that's where it happened, but those are the facts that we have at our disposal right now. And as we watch our MPs in the nation's parliament, that's of little significance. They all woke up to the news this morning of this homicide. They are keeping count. They are aware that it's homicide number 26. But believe you me, they will not make an issue of this during their contributions. And I watched a few of the contributions that were made by some of the MPs thus far. And almost in every instance, at the commencement of those contributions, those MPs have made reference to their political opponents, or if you want to say their political opponent, because in St. Lucia, the SLP, as far as they're concerned, a few individuals of insignificance here and there, but they have only one. Well, apart from Newspin, they have one other political opponent, and that is the former Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Mr. Alan Chastanet. I'm talking about Mr. Chastanet. I wonder whether he will be making his contribution today, because today is the last day of the debate. So they focused almost instantaneously, or maybe this was something that was well planned and choreographed and executed. Nearly all of the MPs focused on the lone voice on the opposition bench, or on the side of the opposition in the island's parliament. And to hell with your children, your friends, your relatives who are being killed ever so often in St. Lucia. It's not a big issue. It is not a big deal for them. It's business as usual. It is normal for people to lose their lives. So what? And when in government, politicians have a tendency to do that. They tell you we are all responsible, from a child to the wife, to husband, everyone in the society, to the church, the youth organizations, the women's groups in St. Lucia. They are all responsible. But in a country, in a nation, you have people who are charged with a specific responsibility. You have legislators. In the case of St. Lucia, you have legislators. People who go to the parliament and who enact the appropriate legislations, and where it is deemed necessary to make the amendments to our laws, existing laws, to deal with certain prevailing circumstances or realities. You might be deemed to be useless in your position when day in, day out, we are recording and continue to make reference to homicides. And you have the resources of the state at your disposal, you have the power at your disposal, and yet still you are rendered useless in dealing with that particular issue to bring some kind of order in the country. And some people still boast that St. Lucia is still the place to live and to work. It is true. But believe you me, things can deteriorate overnight to the extent, as we have experienced over the years, that things will get out of control, they will get out of hand. We'll be declaring certain communities as no-go zones in our own little way. will want to impose curfews, SOEs on people, etc. But now, it appears to be manageable. Let us not turn a blind eye to it. Let us not hide behind, it's this individual and that individual and all of us together. In such instances, what we are doing is passing the buck as leaders. You have, for example, government ministers saying that things don't happen overnight. What is overnight? Will it have to take you being in power for another 15 years for you to come to terms with the reality of the situation? That what you have been doing, in the case of this administration, which is into its second term, they have been not sufficiently effective. You're just taking the resources of the state and you are doing certain things that really and truly we cannot prove that they are working. 26 homicides on this, the 24th of April, 4 months into a new year, and we're recording 26 homicides. And normally, getting close to the festive season, the situation would deteriorate. If now we're in April, what will happen by October, November, and December of this year if the trend continues? And those who are charged with the responsibility to bring some kind of order in the country, all you can expect them to do is to come up with excuse after excuse. So we sympathize, empathize with the families of yet another victim. 26 homicides for this year. The MP for Dennery South, former Agriculture Minister Alfred Prosper, during his contribution to this debate, this year's debate yesterday, made reference to one individual, a murder victim who is from his constituency, but he did not, he was not attacked in the constituency, but in another part of St. Lucia, and that is 22-year-old Tariq Isidore, and Mr. Alfred Prosper has been paying tribute to him and also making reference to the crime scourge in St. Lucia, which is constantly resulting in so many of our young men losing their lives.
We had an incident, a very unfortunate incident, where a young life was lost in Dennery South, and his name is Tariq Isidore, 22 years old, who suffered gunshots in a place in Cul-de-sac on Sunday morning at about 11:30. Mr. Speaker, it hurts because this young man was well known in the constituency. He has been very much involved in youth activities in the constituency, Mr. Speaker, and it was sad when I got to learn of this incident. I pray for his family. I ask for strength and courage, and I do hope that we will continue to have his parents and other family members in his prayers. Mr. Speaker, this is very unfortunate for us, and I just want to appeal to our young men who believes that simple solutions that can be addressed by just talking to each other, it usually ends with a stabbing incident or gunshot wound or whatever. And it is really not a good thing for our young people. So I'm therefore calling on our young men to engage in more activities that would shape their future, create employment for themselves. And Mr. Speaker, I do hope that they will understand the importance of being together and not using weapons to take somebody's life, especially in simple issues that can be resolved without having to use the gunfire.
Former Agriculture Minister and the current MP for Dennery South, Mr. Alfred Prosper, speaking there during the debate yesterday and in the aftermath of the recent murder of one of his constituents, 22-year-old Tariq Isidore. At the commencement of my preamble, I did say to you that people, a lot of us here in St. Lucia, cannot handle the truth. And we take you back to the year 2018. In his capacity as Prime Minister of St. Lucia then, and during an appearance on the DBS program Newsmaker Live, Mr. Alan Chastanet told us something that I thought, as the host of the program, that was obvious. That many of us knew that that was the reality on the ground, in so many of our communities in St. Lucia. A lot of young girls, unfortunately, before the age of 18, having their first child. And before 20, a second. And thereafter, the trend continues. And many people, particularly in those communities, would whisper, would converse among themselves, bad talk those people, without ever putting themselves in the shoes of that young mother. And even going as far as to, try to assist her in whatever way that we can. And also for the state to intervene. Because in an instance where somebody becomes a young mother, and in the absence of support systems, whether it's coming from the family or the state, you could only imagine the kind of future that that young mother will have, as well as her children. So we end up adopting this or practicing this hands-off approach. For us, it is a sad movie. And we watch it being played out, being acted right before our eyes. And in some cases, either we're helpless or we are too selfish to do anything about it. But we have to confront such problems and not being hypocritical about it because of who said, who highlighted the issue and used that as a political footballer, used that as some weapon against that person. And especially playing to the ignorance of certain sections of the society. So now that the dust has settled to the extent we've had 2 general elections since that statement was made in 2018. You had the 2021 general election, which resulted in the defeat of the UWP and then Prime Minister Alan Chastanet. And you also had the 2025 poll, resulting in even a greater defeat for him and the UWP. Now that we don't have a general election on the horizon, at least as far as I'm aware, anytime soon, maybe would be more in a better position to listen to his words and to see whether there is any truth in what he said then, that is 8 years ago, and whether we can learn anything from his bravery. And I'm saying bravery because in this St. Lucia of ours, where hypocrisy thrives, every time you speak the truth, what you do is you put a target on your back or on your chest. And some people will even threaten to hurt you physically. Some people use Facebook to go out on a limb to launch scathing attacks against you, get personal and give you all kind of mepui. But those are the statements, those are the discussions that we honestly need to have. Because in the end, I think it would resonate with at least a couple of people who are not preoccupied with which party that's in office. They're more concerned about the plight of St. Lucia and its citizens, irrespective of which political party that you are supporting. Let's hear now from former Prime Minister Alan Chastanet, a statement he made in 2018 on the DBS program News Make Alive, a program that he was pilloried for.
Have young girls having kids. First one, second one, third one. We watch them, we pass by their homes. We do nothing. I mean, I think government should have an intervention program. If in fact a young woman has a child, their first child, we need to sit down with their parents and everybody else, that child has the capacity to be able to take care of the child. But how do you allow that same child, that same girl now to have a second and third child? Couldn't even take care of the first one. You pass by. That's your problem in the future. Wait a second, I'm not done yet. The third one then is jobs.
But before you go into jobs, is that an issue you should legislate? Because human rights activists will tell you that's a human rights issue.
Well, you know, Singapore deals with it in a particular way. We always want to tout how great Singapore is. But guess what? It needs to be a conversation. You have young girls having kids. First one, second one, third one. We watch them, we pass by their homes. We do nothing. I mean, I think government should have an intervention program. If in fact a young woman has a child, their first child, we need to sit down with their parents and everybody else, that child has the capacity to be able to take care of the child. But how do you allow that same child, that same girl now to have a second and third child? Couldn't even take care of the first one. You pass by. That's your problem in the future. Wait a second, I'm not done yet. The third one then is jobs.
But before you go into jobs, is that an issue you should legislate? Because human rights activists will tell you that's a human rights issue.
Well, you know, Singapore deals with it in a particular way. We always want to tout how great Singapore is. But guess what? It needs to be a conversation.
Former St. Lucia Prime Minister Alan Chastanet speaking in 2018 on the DBS program News Make Alive. Never mind, we're talking about a low birth rate right now in St. Lucia, an average of 1.38 to a woman, when it should be at least 2.1. We still have a problem in St. Lucia where you have a lot of young teenage mothers. That is the reality on the ground. Let's take your calls right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. And don't forget, Janti is here going through your comments in the chat room, and she'll be having a few updates for us in just a moment. But first, St. Lucia Electricity Services Limited Lucelec wishes to advise customers and the public of the closure of all its customer service offices today, Friday, the 24th of April. This closure is necessary to facilitate staff participation in a meeting and engagement exercise. During the closure, all options for conducting business with Lucelec remotely, and that includes the automated account inquiry service at 457-4433 for bill balances, myaccount.lucelec.com for account information, and to make online bill payments, and the virtual service desk at lucelec.com will remain available, and customers are encouraged to use those. Responses on the virtual service desk and My Account platforms will, however, be delayed due to staff unavailability. The Rodney Bay office will be open to serve customers tomorrow, Saturday, April the 25th, from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Normal business at all office locations will resume on Monday, April the 27th at 8 o'clock in the morning. The management of Lucelec regrets any inconvenience this closure may cause and would like to thank customers for their understanding. A notice coming from the St. Lucia Electricity Services Limited, Lucelec. Your calls right now at 452-2979, 24th-April-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. And let us see if we have any of your messages to go through at this point in time. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, "Good day, Tim. There is one in my area, 18 years old, and she already has 3 children." 18 years old, already has 3 children. And for some people, those are not the realities that you should be speaking of. To do that is to belittle the women of St. Lucia, is try to tell the women of St. Lucia what to do with their lives. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says that the Philip Pierre baby is coming soon. Okay. All right, let's see if we have another WhatsApp message, one that is worth reading. And somebody says that on Sunday, April 19th, tragic stray bullet struck 16-year-old Deslev Edward of Soufrière, leaving him in urgent need of specialized medical care. His parents were advised that the best place for his treatment is in Martinique, but the costs of transportation to Martinique and medical expenses are overwhelming. They are reaching out to the public for help. Any contribution, no matter how small, will bring them closer to getting him the care he desperately needs. Please consider donating and sharing this fundraiser. Your kindness and support means the world to them as they fight to save their son's life. So we hope members of the public will do whatever that is necessary and possible to assist in the rehabilitation of this young man. But we need to come to terms with reality in this St. Lucia of ours. When people don't want you to focus on the crime problem, and they don't want you to stress on the fact that too many of our young men are being shot and killed, and in this case, being injured, a 16-year-old, the victim of a shooting incident. And what are the consequences of this? If the authorities cannot minimize those issues, cannot ensure that they are reduced, and you continue to have those incidents occurring in so many parts of St. Lucia, leaving people injured, and requiring medical treatment that we cannot provide at our health institutions, at our OKEU, and our beleaguered St. Jude Hospital, it leaves families going out there and asking for financial support to send relatives over to Martinique. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is Newspin. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Tim, as a young man, Tim, living in St. Lucia, Tim, too many of our young fellas passing away, die by guns. Tim, I crying as a young man. I will not say Labour Party, but I will say the Prime Minister, help us. Help us, please help us. It could be me, it could be my brother, it could be my sister or someone else. Next. But before it happened, I just want to tell the Prime Minister to try and help us in any way possible. Please help us. Good afternoon, Tim.
Yeah, good afternoon to you as well, sir. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. You know what? I could just imagine a supporter of the Prime Minister saying to you, why should the Prime Minister help? Why should you call upon the Prime Minister to help? Is he the one who is responsible for those criminal elements in St. Lucia deciding to take matters into their own hands? Is he the one that's responsible for this? The issue, the reality is, he is the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. He is the National Security Minister. He says that he knows the source of a lot of the crimes that are occurring in St. Lucia. And therefore, as a leader, in any environment, in any organization, any institution, you must have a leader. You have a chairman, you have a chairwoman, you have a general manager, you have a managing director. And when you have problems in those institutions, you turn to your leader. Where is the solution? We continue to have this payroll problem. We continue to have that particular issue. Productivity is low. We're not getting the material to produce certain things. You look to your leader. You look to your manager. You look to your managing director. What are you doing? What are we doing about this issue? And our first call, I guess, that's exactly what he was doing there. We have a problem. We turn to our leader. Because you could also turn to the leader of a gang. And in such circumstances, it's not playing by the rules, It is deciding to dispense your own form of justice, irrespective of who will become a victim. It's not playing fair. So in such circumstances, a law-abiding citizen would turn to those people who were appointed or elected to maintain law and order. Your Prime Minister, your Home Affairs Minister, your National Security Minister, your Cabinet of Ministers, you turn to the police, you turn to the police commissioner, etc. That is how it's supposed to happen in a civilized society. Good afternoon to you, Shanti. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room.
Good afternoon, Tim. Starting off on YouTube, our first comment reads, there are 3 ministers in the SLP government responsible for fighting crime in St. Lucia. The Minister of National Security, the Minister of Home Affairs, and the Minister of Conflict Resolution. None of these ministers have outlined a strategy to fight violent crime in the country, but everything is about Shas. Tim, you are on point once again today. Another YouTube comment here reading, the SLP hacks muddied what the man said and made it look like a crime. I am the P in CIP, pregnant. Moving to Facebook, our first comment reads, no Tim, you can only discuss it when UWP is in power. He's not doing me a favor, that's a fact. Exactly. But they will make a big fuss with Shas. We have another comment here saying, but they there in Parliament talking about hills and valley jazz. 16 men afraid of one man. Shas say met you. Richard Frederick said the crime has come to a halt. We have a few more comments here reading, the monies don't belong to PJP, so his hacks can say what they want. They can make up their false stories. Tim Gasser, the PM fixing the loss of lives by giving $1,000 to start having children to increase the population. The PM working and had things under control. Every one of them spoke to Shas. We have another comment here reading, they will pay any amount of money just to prevent Alan from being PM again, because they know if he comes back, they will be out of work for good. St. Lucians are beating pants so hard now. Laughing out loud. We should move away from this hand-to-mouth mentality and look to inspire our people to raise their full potentials. We have more comments from our Facebook page saying, what exactly is the conflict minister doing? Can you believe there is a crime prevention minister in a place with so much crime? Why Prosper is no longer the Minister of Agriculture? Is it because of his performance? Alan is giving them sleepless nights. They are confused over Alan Chastanet. They are so afraid he wins again as PM. We have another comment here saying, money is a lot of people's weakness, and for that they will pay big time. Whenever they choose to speak of someone who was killed, it's most likely that the person or victim was in their political camp. If not a word, like they are not human beings. Mr. Minister, that is not enough. Your government needs to get the guns off the street and the criminals. We have more commentary reading. Right now, the wicked government wants to brainwash those people that can't even take care of their homes for a little one-time payment of $1,000. Martinique Accor, oh my, let's help. Yes, I agree. But the government should be forefront to take the responsibility to send this child for medical treatment. They do it for ministers and government officials. Why not act as in this case and cases like this? Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Jante, for that update. Somebody is asking a question via WhatsApp. And the question is, what's going on at the Marquis Estate? That's according to WhatsApp. Let's see there if we have another contribution. Are you aware that with all the $1,000 baby project, if the government does not ensure that the proper systems and support mechanisms for these mothers to assist them with these children, the problem ends up the responsibility of some government which has failed to put the measures in place. The outcome is increased dependency on the state, deviant behavior, and potential crime. WhatsApp message, let's see there. Somebody says there, the Financial Intelligence Authority, FIA, in collaboration with the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, previously indicated that information had been identified in relation to approximately 10 individuals whose assets may be subject to recovery or forfeiture. We would appreciate any updates that can be shared regarding the status or progress of these matters. That is according to a WhatsApp message. The other person says, Tim, you have to hear. You honestly have to talk to them youths about being on blocks and hanging out on blocks, because they always have a bad apple on the block that somebody's looking for. Just tell the young guys especially to stop hanging out on the block. Stay home and read a book. Stay home and watch a documentary. Watch a documentary on television. Stay home and do their chores. Stay home and do stuff that keeps them off the block. I mean, if you know, sitting on the block for hours, there's nothing good that comes out of that. Tim, just tell the youths of today that block life is half dead just being on the block, especially around now. Well, Colin, it does not make sense to just tell the young people who have all the energies that they should just stay home and watch television and watch a documentary and go read a book. Colin, in what era you think that we are living in right now? If you do not provide a viable alternative to the young people, you have to ask them to, you have to engage them, facilitate them so that they can do what they love to do, not what you as an individual believes should be used as a pastime for them. Engage them, find out exactly what they want to invest their time in. And it might not necessarily be watching a documentary or just watching television. And when you're suggesting as well that young people should not be liming on the block, what exactly are you talking about? Maybe it's a form of socialization. And don't get the impression that every time people are liming on a block or in a particular area, street corner, etc., that they are planning to engage in some kind of illegal act or in deviant behavior. Who knows? Being in that kind of setting, in that kind of group, to a certain extent, is what sometimes has resulted in us not having more serious crimes occurring in St. Lucia over the years. So we certainly have to be realistic. We have to better understand our young people, and then I think we will be able to address some of the issues that are affecting them. 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, pleasant afternoon. It was the same Labour Party with then leader and Prime Minister Kenny Anthony who passed the apportion bill, which Sarah Flood-Bobra opposed. Now with the SLP regime with leader and Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre now saying make children and give the parents a one-time payment of $1,000. Wow. Alan Chastanet was criticized for speaking about families maintaining children. Priests and some members of the SLP cabinet, ladies who have no children, should now get married and have children. That's according to a WhatsApp message. See if we have some more of your messages. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, that large amount of spending could have gone into book programs for students. In Antigua, parents do not buy school books for primary school students. Also, use some of the money to decrease the amounts that needed to be paid by patients visiting the hospital. This would be a beneficial initiative so everyone gets a little something. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. And somebody says there, my God, Jesus, when will it end in St. Lucia? Bleeding, we need Jesus. St. Lucians turn to Christ. Good afternoon. This is Newspin, you're on the air.
Tim, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Tim.
Good afternoon.
Let me say, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the Prime Minister saying go and make more children. But the other thing, Tim, to make that children, Tim, you cannot use no protection, right? But at the same time, there's many sickness in this country. They have AIDS and everything. Sometimes you go to make a child and when you check out it's AIDS you get, you don't know. You understand? How many people that when even not to sleep with each other, they decide to go and take a test before they do that? They will not. You understand? Sometimes the same Prime Minister saying, well, make sure you can get sickness, you can get AIDS, you can get different sicknesses. And the $1,000 you're going to give, that will not work for nothing for you. So we have to be careful of that going and make children. You understand? So we have to take good care of ourselves for that kind of statement the Prime Minister is saying there. Okay?
Okay, caller. All right. Thank you so much for calling. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. We have a number of other issues to focus on during the course of our broadcast, and some more of your WhatsApp messages to go through, and of course some more updates from Jante. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a bit.
Advance your career at Lightspark Training with a globally recognized certification. Conveniently located on High Street, Castries, Lightspark offers a wide range of programs to make the most of your career. Certifications in project management, risk management, quality management, marketing, ACC accounting, human resources, Microsoft, Cisco, and IT technician certification, graphic design, web design, and programming. Complete a diploma in accounting in 6 months or a bachelor's degree in just over a year. Call us today at 451-8918 or visit us at www.lightspark.com.
Celebrate the extraordinary women in your life this Mother's Day at Bay Gardens Resorts. Join us on Sunday, May 11 for a day dedicated to honoring Mom. Choose from 3 spectacular celebrations. Treat Mom to the elegance of our Pretty in Petals event at Bay Gardens Marina Haven for EC $160 per person. Experience jazzy vibes and culinary excellence at our Jazzy Mother's Day brunch at the Bay Gardens Hotel and Inn. A perfect blend of entertainment and indulgence for EC $175 per person. Enjoy a toast to Mom at the Bay Gardens Beach Resort and Spa, an upscale afternoon tailored to your special lady for only EC $200 per person. Children ages 4 to 12 receive 50% off, and children under 4 are absolutely free. Book by May 4th and receive a 10% discount on your entire reservation. For reservations and for more details, contact us at 457-8045 or send us an email at marketing@baygardensresorts.com. Create cherished moments this Mother's Day at Bay Gardens Resorts.
What happens when the music is stripped down to the truth? On April 29th, First National Bank presents the Teddyson John Experience at the luxurious Royalton Resorts. Raw vocals, live music, real emotion, an intimate night where Teddyson John opens the heart of the music. Also from Trinidad and Tobago, featuring Nyla Blackman. From St. Lucia, Michael Robinson. Herb Black. I'm so sorry. Umpa. And Ricky T. sharing their stories behind the songs and connects with you up close. This is more than a concert. It's a feeling. Stripped, April 29th. Royalton Resorts, limited seats. One unforgettable night. It's definitely my type of night and my type of vibes.
Tickets for this event are $100 USD, food and drinks inclusive. Ticket locations: Anthony's Jewelry, Castries and Baywalk, The Wave, and online fourcirclestickets.com.
Hey there, Loose Select family. It's Malika, and today I've got a burning question. What's with the fuel surcharge?
Hey Malika, I'm Didi. Buckle up, because we're about to take a deep dive into the world of fuel surcharge. Alright? So Malika, fuel surcharge is all about the cost of fuel on the global market. It's a monthly thing, dancing to the tune of international fuel prices and our energy consumption.
Really?
So Malika, don't freak out, okay? Let's get into the math of how we calculate the surcharge. Imagine this. July's fuel cost is $11 per gallon, while last year's average was $10.50 a gallon. This is a difference of 50 cents. Now let's say we have a fuel consumption of 5,000 gallons and total unit sales of, let's say, 20,000 kilowatt hours. What we do, we multiply this 50 cents by the 5,000 gallons of fuel that we use for a grand total surcharge of $2,500. Then we divide the $2,500 by the 20,000 kilowatt hour unit sales. This gives us a net 12.5 cents per kilowatt hour. This is a surcharge applied to the electricity you use. And it isn't for Lucilec only. It's an international thing to keep things fair.
Thanks for the knowledge, Didi. Now I'm feeling charged up.
You got it, Malika? Keep those questions coming. We're here to keep you in the know.
Ouais, messieurs, pas jodi moi la ka espérer plein bon glow. Si t'en la pani pressure. Moi ni tank, moi ni glow, mais money pressure. Ou savez ça moi besoin? A pump. Ça c'est bêtise. Moi ka aller ko Europa. Yo ni toute pump pour toute condition. Qui pour kay, qui pour business. Yo ni pli mer pour pump set ici. Yo ka ranger pump aussi qui besoin service. Brand pump yo c'est Léo. Pump ça c'est major. I bon tout bonnement. Tant si ten moins actuellement. Glow ka fante. Europa ni pump glow Léo under pour les nerfs, joints et gris. Visitez Europa ambassade Gozile. Les mots au téléphone 452 0763.
This land, every worker, every dream, united now, a single team. One voice, one executive, one union, standing tall we shine as one. Through the struggle, through the fight, together we will light the night.
Lazarus's funeral home is here for you. Lazarus's private cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's private cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's funeral home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
So fast pay on you an easy way to pay. So fast pay. So fast pay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
So fast pay. 2 minutes and you're on your way. So fast pay. So fast
is keeping you connected.
Stop. How much more pain can you take? Back pain, blinding headaches, numbness, weak knees, spinal injuries, stroke. You've tried everything. Nothing works. Enough. La Clinique du Corps has the experts and technology to diagnose and fix the problem permanently. Our specialist doctors use cutting-edge solutions to treat back pain, knee pain, sciatica, stroke recovery, spinal injuries, arthritis, heel pain, and more. With advanced pain management techniques, we provide fast, effective relief so you can live pain-free. La Clinique du Corps is an approved universal healthcare service provider in St. Lucia, accepting all approved insurance. Take back your life. Call La Clinique du Corps right now at 451-6559 to book your appointment. Pain stops here.
Experience the rhythm, feel the soul, embody the atmosphere where foundation transcends, set against the breathtaking beauty of Point Vierge, where lush cliff meets the ocean blue. Welcome to Jazz of Vierge 2026, presented by the First National Bank. It's an experience. Headline in the action: international reggae icon, Jam Messenger, Luciano. Joined by some of St. Lucia's top-notch musicians, Mishak, Michael Robinson, so let's couple up to my cup. Level 4, backed by the Impulse Band. Also featuring Rupert Lay Jazz Trio, 6 Mile, Cheryl Francis, St. Lucy's Steel Pan, and more. Regular tickets are $125, VIP $300 EC. Get your tickets at The Cell, Knights Gas Station, Miku, and Rose Madine. Online at fourcirclestickets.com. Sunday, April 26th. The gates are open from 1 p.m. Showtime 3 p.m. Jazz of Vierge is powered by Four Circles Tickets. Wear white and join us for an unforgettable experience.
If that Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy, you'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Good afternoon to you again, Shanti. Let's find out what is happening in the chat rooms.
Starting off on YouTube, our first comment here reads, "Crime was high under Shas. He did nothing and couldn't do anything about it. Crime is a complex problem that will require multi-sectoral approach, but the gun violence problem is the most dangerous aspect and should be given top priority. The structure of the security services in the Royal St. Lucia Police Force is inadequate to meet the challenges of the 21st century." Another YouTube comment here says, "When Shah said St. Lucia needed a border control agency, SLP ridiculed him. PJP will end up having a $1,000 child amnesty program." Caller, he did not say to make children, some people are claiming. But how will the birth rate change without a pregnancy? Moving to Facebook, our first comment reads, "Gun amnesty and not one gun was collected. That's poor execution of the program. Same thing will happen to the $1,000 offer to get pregnant. No one will, but PJP will call it a success. I think the PM is out of touch with the cost of providing diapers, wipes, formula, cereal, etc." We have another comment here saying, "Tim, Long time the guys and them used to sit on the block. You didn't used to see these kind of things happening like that. But that's what Healer said. The boys on the block don't have Netflix. Where's the hospital to give birth to those babies? We have a few more comments here saying the conflict minister is more conflicted by his very own thoughts. Start by fixing your attitudes towards the former PM when in Parliament, and the young men of St. Lucia will learn from you all how to settle their conflicts in a proper way. They should offer $1,000 bi-weekly for 52 weeks once pregnancy is confirmed. I'm sure that might turn a few heads. We have another comment here reading, Emma start helping to send the young man to Martinique. And our final comment, Tim, what is the population in St. Lucia right now? Because all of our guys are dying.
Thank you so much, Jante. We have a call via WhatsApp. Hello, good afternoon. This is Newspin, you're on the air. Let's see, we have lost that call. All right, let's see if we can go through any of your WhatsApp messages. Please bear with me while we try to go through one of your messages. We have lots of them at this point in time. Let's see there what you're saying. Okay, I think we have a call. Let's go to that call. Good afternoon to you. This is Newspin. You are on the air. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon to Newspin.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Same to you and your staff. Sam, one of the criticisms I have of the press is their seemingly unwillingness at the time of sending out a story to give both sides of the story. It's always one-sided, 9 times out of 10. And it was not always like that. There was a time when news used to be balanced and so on. But recently I've noticed in the recent past, not so recent past, or the past perhaps 6, 7 years, there's a tendency to always give one side of the story. And a lot of it involves a lot. And then again, most of the news is made up by governmental activity anyway. So you always hear stories like the minister clears the air, the minister says, and there's never a time when you get both parties to the story at the same time on the news, so that the person receiving the news is able to make a decision at that particular point in time which part of the story is. You can balance it off. So they walk away with one side of the story, and even then they may probably have the other side of the story 2 weeks later.
Is there a particular reason why you're highlighting this issue?
The reason I'm speaking here, I'm getting there, Kim. I'm getting there. The reason I'm speaking about it was brought to my attention that following that last call I made to this program in respect of access to Hansard, that an interview was given by the speaker to a new reporter about this.
But I think not to one reporter. I think at least maybe 3 or 4 reporters.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I saw somebody sent it to me actually. I didn't see it myself.
Yeah.
Somebody sent a clip to me, and I thought that perhaps the reporter who was dealing with at the time should have come back to me, because I'm in the thing, and let me give my perspective on the whole thing. And that is the concern I have. You have people going out there with the wrong impression, because I said a lot more when I was speaking to the clerk of the house than the story that came out. And
also, caller, I'm not too certain whether they took the time to even extract or to feature the comments that you made on the Newspin program on that particular given day. So it was a story featuring only the reaction of the speaker, at least in, I think, the one story that I might have seen. So reference was made to you, but never a decision was not taken to at least play the clip of whatever you had a grievance with.
And the thrust of what I was saying was lost. And that's the complaint I have. I would like, not a complaint, rather, the comment I want to make, that the press really has got to give us some better service. Always give us both sides of the story, so that people are better placed to be able to make judgments on what they hear. Especially when one side, the side is being interviewed, will use words like prevaricate to describe the other party. In other words, accusing the person of lying. Because this in certain places you can't accuse somebody of lying. So I can't understand why, in the context of normal conversation, somebody who would tell somebody else he can't lie will in turn come up with something like this. So I would like to urge the press, when you're doing these things, please get both sides of the story before you go out. I don't know if there's any restriction on that or limitation on that, but let's not do themselves a disservice, because it is certainly not good reporting. That's the comment I want to make.
But there are instances, Mr. Myers, there are instances when you cannot get both sides. But I agree with you in your case. In your case, the comment that you made on Newspin could have been utilized, and at least in addition to the reaction of the Speaker of the House.
Yes. I absolutely agree with you. In that case, the other person couldn't. They may not come into the picture.
Yeah.
But at least it should be said, I tried to get Mr. So and so, and he refused to comment or some such thing.
Yes.
Leave the person balanced. Don't leave it hanging in the end when people are sort of their thinking is slanted by the thoughts of another. That's the comment I wanted to make.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing with us. But Mr. Myers must also understand, sometimes not the fault of the reporter. There are instances when it's the fault of the media houses that person is working for. Okay? So, the media houses, there's some media houses in St. Lucia, rest assured, that's so predictable. I mean, the slant that it'll give to certain stories, because it's coming from higher up, higher authorities. The owner wants the story to be in that to be slanted in that particular direction. And also the owner does not want you to interview certain individuals. There might be a list of individuals that you, as a reporter, if you're working in that television station, that you cannot interview, and you ought not to feature them in their broadcast, especially if it has to do with creating balance or painting them in a positive light. If it's something negative, and I must take the opportunity to say that, because a lot of those media houses, they are among the reporters are among the individuals who monitor Newspin. Even as we speak right now, they are monitoring Newspin, they're recording and so on, hoping that they'll get some material to have in their broadcast. And they will not give the broadcast credit. They will not give the broadcast credit until I've had the occasion to literally call a few of those media outlets to say, you cannot use our material in Newspin without giving us credit. Since then, they have gone on to give us credit. But if it was something controversial, where, for example, a government minister was decided, as they have done in the past, several years ago, to take legal action against me, they will not say a certain talk show host or certain program. They say, well, boy, 3 government ministers decided to take legal action against Timothy Poleon, the host of Newspin. So that's the reality of the environment in which we are operating in right now. All right, we have Rick Wynn on the line. Good afternoon to you, sir. You are on the air.
Tim.
Good afternoon, sir.
You always have to adapt to situations, especially in particular to this press thing. We all know what the press is like. The press is both incompetent, shackled, and in various ways shackled. We know all of that. But there are times when you can tell particular what I'm looking for, purpose of a reporter. And it's not just news. In a case like that, you pull that crap on me, what do you think I'm going to do, Tim?
Can you repeat, Rick?
I said, can you imagine if somebody pull crap on me, like misquoting me and making comments about what I said that out of place, such as, what do you think I would do?
Well, I mean, you would call to explain. You'll take them to task.
Take them to task. That is the point. You can't just sit there and just say, well, the press is this and the press is that. I would be naming, because these are all public people in the public domain. And in the interest of the public generally, you have a duty not to allow yourself to be misquoted, misrepresented, and possibly cause problems by allowing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You are tacitly encouraging bad bias reporting when you don't expose it, nakedly expose it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? With the press and the people who appreciate press can't just sit down. They have to fight bad press. They have to fight a pretend press. They can't just sit there just like that. While I'm with you, Tim, I want to make a quick comment on this matter of incentives to have children by whatever name. I was doing a little research on the countries that have that, where they want to increase population and so on. It's not just a matter of giving regular women or families a few dollars to have more kids in them. There's a serious responsibility that these countries undertake. First of all, the money they give them is not for a month or one thing. Usually it's at least 3 years of sustaining that child and family. Also, they take care of pre-education, they take care of the health. There are all kinds of other incentives, government supplied incentives for it. So it's not just a matter of encouraging people who think it's, it's become a joke. What the hell, the father's wife giving them, and you're getting $1,000. I mean, the people who are saying that kind of stuff obviously are not thinking. It's just party defending against party. One side, even the criticisms, Tim, those who oppose it or for whatever reasons, mostly it's political anyway. In this country, nothing is but political. You have to give good reasons for the benefit of the listening public why you think a government policy is bad. I mean, especially in a country like this with all the attendant problems of rearing children, even from quote-unquote good homes, the criminal elements, what happens when a child gets into trouble, even from especially from a poor home, what happens at places that pretend to be remedial places like that place in Grosvenor, whatever you call it.
Boys Training Center.
Boys Training Center. Boys Training Center is itself a problem. I've been writing about them for years and little has changed. So the matter of producing a child and not giving details, although I thought the Prime Minister, I heard a number of them, and I thought the Prime Minister was perhaps, and they're going to say, Rick Winfriend, to hell with you, he made a lot of qualifying statements. I am not saying those qualifying statements are nearly enough. He thinks like people who are responsible and all that kind of stuff. That's not nearly enough. It's the government. It's not the people we have to check out. Are they responsible parents or are they rich or are they poor? It is what the government is offering as an incentive to increase the population. So in other words, the education. Are you going to take on the education of the child? Preschool? How much longer? At what age you going to stop? How much you going to give the parents? And so on. And I notice also that most of the other countries speak in terms of families. Okay?
Yeah.
But we don't. So whatever compensation is going to the woman, is she supposed to split it? It sounds silly, but it just goes to show there's no thinking behind those policies. There's no discussion in advance. There's no consultation with public. There are no reports telling us the plight of children in the country. There are no reports telling us how children are treated when they get into trouble, how many young people are in prison. I heard last night on a surprisingly interesting interview done with Renault and Steve what's his name?
Fevrier.
Mm-hmm. And he made a statement there to the effect that if he was going to try to get 5 useful young people to work for him, he more than likely would get just 1, if at all, because that's how bad things are with young people. Very, very bad. But that is not being discussed, and the critics are not bringing that up either. Don't expect the government to do it. So I think, again, just like the caller beforehand, we have to listen to what our government says, and we have to criticize it with an intention of improving the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we have to educate ourselves, man. That business of the paying for incentive to have a child $1,000. It's a very, very deep subject. It has many, many legs that must be discussed. And it's not just a matter of having the kids. It's what is happening to the kids who are around right now. What's happening to those kids?
More than that, Rick, in addition to that, Rick, the number of young men who are being killed, very often they are fathers, of small children. What is happening to those children?
I'll tell you more. Even those who are killed, in very rare cases, we hear what happened to the killers. We have so many things over the years that have gone kibosh. And we have to be very, very careful not to add to it. It's all well and good. I'm not against population and whatnot. The more people who are productive, just having children who are not going to be trained for any useful job, who are more than likely to end up, quote unquote, burdens on the state, because a lot of young people are burdens on the state,
Mm-hmm.
Even to the point of well-behaved kids still being burdened on the state, Tim, because they're out of work. Thank you very much.
All right, Rick. Thank you so much. This is the most monitored talk show in the world, still to come. In our remaining moments, we have the Newspin question of the day. We also have the Newspin news of the day. And, of course, we'll have at least one final update from Jante. Please stay with the broadcast.
Advance your career at Lightspark Training with a globally recognized certification. Conveniently located on High Street, Castries, Lightspark offers a wide range of programs to make the most of your career. Certifications in project management, risk management, quality management, marketing, ACC accounting, human resources, Microsoft, Cisco, and IT technician certification, graphic design, web design, and programming. Complete a diploma in accounting in 6 months or a bachelor's degree in just over a year. Call us today at 451-8918 or visit us at www.lightspark.com.
La Clinique de Corps leads the Caribbean in advanced MRI, aligned with globally recognized standards. Avoid overseas stress, delays, and cancelled scans. Reports in 24 to 48 hours. No translation, no overseas processing. Your doctor receives your imaging directly for seamless continuity of care. All major insurance accepted. Call 451-6559. Once again, 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. The WhatsApp number 721-9950.
Need branded apparel that looks sharp and shows up on time? Welcome to Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts. We specialize in custom embroidery and t-shirt printing for businesses, teams, events, you name it. From embroidered logos on polished Oxford shirts, available in a variety of colors for men and women, to bold, high-quality printed tees that turn heads, we do it all. Bring your own shirts or choose from ours. Small runs, big orders, rush jobs, no problem. At Imprinted Designs, we're built for speed, efficiency, and clean professional results delivered on time, every time. So if you want your brand to stand out, not wait around, come down to Imprinted Designs at the Valmore Plaza or hit us up at 451-2920 or email address imprinteddesignsSLU@gmail.com. Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for at Lazarus Funeral Home. Losing a loved one isn't something you can foresee. Since the beginning, affordability has been one of our priorities. Every day we're proving that burials don't have to be expensive. If cost is a factor in your time of bereavement, call Lazarus Funeral Home. We have coffins starting at $800 plus taxes. Nothing can cause more disappointment than poor quality. Help us help you keep your last memory of your loved one sacred. Make it special. Make it Lazarus Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Located at Bibliotheque Castries at 452-7491 and New Dock Road, V4 at 454-6555.
Stop paying full price. With Flow, you can slash your bill in half. You heard right. Cut your mobile bill in half when you add mobile to internet. That's the most reliable Wi-Fi at home. Plus, all the data you need on the go. So don't wait. Double your connection and double your value for half the price. Add mobile to internet today. Visit in-store or online at discoverflow.co for more details.
Bob and Dave were very proud to buy their mom a new energy-saving fridge with lots of smart settings. They remember the old ways of energy saving. Mom always said, "Close the fridge, you're wasting current." Smart advice then, smart advice now. Close the fridge, you're wasting current. Saving energy is what's smart.
Art in the City is back, rooted in culture, bold in expression. Brought to you by the Cultural Development Foundation. On Friday, April 17th, the celebration begins in Beaufort. Art in the Street at the New Market Complex from 10 a.m., followed by readings and rhythms at 7 p.m. On April 24th and 25th, indulge in the Icon Series 4-course gala dinner at Sandals Grand, honoring culinary master Edward Chef Harry Joseph. On April 26th and 27th, theater lovers gather at Warehouse 11 for Don't Call Me Baby Doll, written and directed by Travis Weeks. Or head to the Caribbean Cinemas for screenings from the Jumpstart Film Project. From April 27th to May 16th, experience Life in Color, a visual arts exhibition at the Audi Showroom and Orange Grove Plaza, featuring works by St. Lucian master artists. On April 28th, the stage comes alive at Sandals Grand with 10 to 1, the Mighty Sparrow musical, produced by Raul Gibbons and directed by Louis McWilliams. On May 1st, journey to Ancillary for Fish Friday, an evening of storytelling with George Fish Alphonse and Kidel Sonny. May 2nd and 3rd, experience Triptych, directed by Kendall Hippolyte and Warehouse 11. On Monday 4th, feel the power of poetry at Voices of the Underground, featuring world-renowned dub poet Linton Kwesi Johnson. From May 5th to 7th, Artscape concerts pop up in unexpected spaces, dance, theater, music. And on May 7th and 8th, discover handcrafted treasures at T-Tax ABC, Craft and Souvenir Market. On the Rodney Bay Strip, Art in the City 2026, rooted in culture, bold in expression.
Super Jazz and Arts, that's the best community jazz event in St. Lucia.
You heard it. Now come to Super Jazz and Arts, the ultimate experience. Gramps Morgan. Voice. Montiel. DYB, Afar Alain, Ezra the Fun Machine, Imran Nerdy, Reasons Orchestra, Boo Hinkson and the True Tones. Now on a Saturday, May 2nd, doors open from 3 p.m. Get your tickets at $150 or indulge in the ultimate VIP Village experience for $400. Purchase at FourCircleTickets.com, the sale outlets island-wide, and the Soufre Foundation office. 9 incredible artists, 1 unforgettable night. And also join us for DJ Asuf, Creole Breakfast Fest, Sunday, May 3rd. Admission free. The ultimate weekend in the ultimate location. Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience.
Together, hand in hand, building strength across this land. Every worker, every dream, united now, a single team. One voice, one executive, one
This is where it all begins. The dreams, the passion, the hunger to be great. Across St. Lucia, a new generation is rising. Faster, stronger, fearless. Introducing the Blackheart SL FAU 20 Knockout Football Tournament. Blackheart SL FAU 20 Knockout Football Tournament, where raw talent meets opportunity, where unknown names become household names, where the future of football takes center stage. From May 16th to June 13th, 19 leagues, 4 venues, 1 champion. Every pass, every goal, every moment, a step closer to greatness. Because this is more than a tournament. This is where future legends rise. Don't miss it. Come witness the next stars of St. Lucian football. The Blackheart SL FAU 20 Knockout Tournament, where future legends rise.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. We'll take a final call in just a moment, but let me turn my attention to you, Shanti. Let's find out what is happening in the chat rooms.
Starting off on YouTube, our first comment reads, the worst year for murderers under Shas was 60, while PJP's best year is 71. SLP have never had long-term visions for St. Lucia. Their vision have gone as far as their pockets could reach. Some of the thousands of millions of dollars mismanaged by SLP could have been used to strengthen the country's security services. Another YouTube comment here reading, the border security he's talking about never got off the ground during his tenure. The restructuring of security services in St. Lucia will take years. At least Shas had ideas, but PJP said, I am not a policeman, my father was. Moving to Facebook, our first comment reads, they used the boys on the block to win the elections by offering them so many things. But after the election, they are now forgotten. That thing about the $1,000 is a diversion from something else that is being passed and signed. Wait for it. Don't lose focus. Press? What press? Cold press? We have another commenter saying, it's just shameful what we have as journalists in St. Lucia today. The government has spare money, so ask them to send people to Martinique. Caller, we do not have journalists in St. Lucia anymore. They are all hacks. We have a few more comments here reading, you mean to tell me not one day the government ministers can call Newspin? Media houses are saving themselves from lawsuits. True caller, that's what's going on. With nearly all the news media outlets, they are just giving false stories. We have another comment here saying, very true, Rick. Even religion is political in St. Lucia. Rick, Canada is from 0 to 18 years, monthly payments. We have more comments from our Facebook page saying, what happens to an unemployed mother or parent struggling to make ends meet? When does the $1,000 finish? The SLP government is made up of people who believe that they are so intelligent that they can trick us. St. Lucian men don't like to get married. We have another commenter saying, we also need fertility clinics. There are people who want children but genuinely can't have. The Prime Minister should think before he came to make that statement. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Jante, for that final update. A reminder that the St. Lucia Electricity Services Limited Lucilec wishes to advise customers and the public of the closure of all its customer service offices today, Friday, April the 24th. This closure is necessary to facilitate, please bear with me, to facilitate staff participation in a meeting and engagement exercise. During the closure, all options for conducting business with Lucilec remotely, including the automated account inquiry service at 457-4433 for bill balances, myaccount.lucilec.com, and that is for account information, and to make online bill payments, and the virtual service desk at lucilec.com will remain available, and customers are encouraged to use those. Responses on the virtual service desk and My Account platforms will, however, be delayed due to staff unavailability. The Rodney Bay office will be open to serve customers tomorrow, Saturday, April the 25th, from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Normal business at all office locations will resume on Monday, April 27th at 8 o'clock in the morning. The management of Lucilec regrets any inconvenience this closure may cause and would like to thank customers for their understanding. Let's turn our attention now to our Newspin question of the day. A simple one. Yet another homicide? The Newspin question of the day, yet another homicide. And finally, the Newspin news of the day. The Newspin news of the day reads, more than 120 organizations demand an end to the complicity of third countries in U.S. extrajudicial killings in the Caribbean. More than 120 organizations demand an end to the complicity of third countries in U.S. extrajudicial killings in the Caribbean. The Newspin news of the day bringing to a conclusion another week of the world's most monitored talk show. Don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the Newspin channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll be back, God willing, on Monday at 12:30 p.m. Goodbye.